Hi, it's Lucy, and today I'm going to be doing some mid-year tags. So this video, like last year's mid-year kind of video, is going to be a combination of the mid-year book freakout tag, which was created by Chammy and Ellie Jane, and the mid-year check-in tag, which was created by Harriet Rosie and Dane Reads. I used to do the mid-year book freakout tag every year, and then I decided I didn't like some of the questions for that, and then I liked some of the questions from the mid-year check-in tag, but not all of them. So I just kind of threw on some of the questions from the mid-year check-in tag into this video, and now it is a combination of both. So with that explanation out of the way, we're going to talk about all of the books that I've read so far this year. How many books have you read so far this year? I am filming this on June 29th, and I have read 53 books so far this year, and that makes me 3 books ahead of my 100 book challenge for the year, so I'm doing good. The best book you've read so far in 2019. So this is kind of a challenge because I looked through my Goodreads shelf and I realized out of all the books that I've read so far this year, I've only given 2 books 5 stars. And one of them was a reread. That was The Hunger Games, which I reread in February, I think. And the other book that I gave 5 stars, and so my favorite book that I've read so far this year, is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I loved this. The hype was real. Literally everyone and their mother talked about this book, so you don't need me to talk about it again. But I did do a reading vlog where I read part of this, I think, and the wrap-up where I talk about this video is linked down below. I think it was my January wrap-up. I read it in January, and I did put some tabs in here. I'm not like other people, I don't annotate that much, so if there's any tabs, like, that's a sign of something at least. Sometimes I don't put tabs for enjoyment. Sometimes I just put because I want to remember that statement. Anyway, this is not about tabs. Best sequel you've read so far in 2019. Since I just held up Crooked Kingdom, which is the second book in a duology, this is by default the answer, but I don't want to use the same answers for every question. So I guess the next best sequel I think would be Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery. Like I said, I think when I reviewed it, just reading Anne of Green Gables books makes me really happy, and it brings a smile to my face. New release you haven't read yet but want to. With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I read The Poet X by her earlier this year and really enjoyed it, so I'm looking forward to her next book. It came out, I think, in May. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I do want to get to it. This book follows a teen mom who loves to cook, and she's struggling on where she's going to take her future now that she has like a family to take care of. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year, Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. If you follow me the second half of 2018, you will know that Children of Blood and Bone, this book right here, this book was my favorite book of 2018. I loved it so much, and so I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel. I'm planning on rereading this book and maybe doing like one of those like read with me reading vlogs for this book or something. I don't know. Tell me if you want that when I reread it. But the book is not coming out until the end of December. They pushed it back a lot. It was supposed to come out, I think, either in June or July, and then there was never any announcements or anything about it. And I was like, if this book is coming out, like, they need to put some pep in their step, but they pushed it back. So it's in December now. I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like I have too many high hopes for it because I did love this book so much, and I feel like that sets it up for disappointment, but it's not my fault. Tomi Adeyemi wrote such a great first book. Biggest disappointment, Odd One Out by Nick Stone. Once again, if you've seen my previous videos, but the video where I reviewed this, which may have been my March or April wrap-up, I don't remember exactly, I basically went off. I did not like this book at all, which was really disappointing because I thought I was going to love it, but looking back, I didn't really love Nick Stone's debut novel either, which was Dear Martin. So I'm not sure why I thought I was going to love this book, but I did think I was going to love it, and I gave it 2.5 stars, so I very clearly did not love it. Biggest surprise, Not Your Sidekick by C.B. Lee. I did not expect to enjoy and have so much fun with this book, and I did, and I recommend it. I think I've recommended it like 3 times so far, like in videos, and it's just such a fun read. It follows a mixed Chinese Vietnamese girl set somewhere in the future. It's kind of far-ish in the future, not that far, but basically superpowers are commonplace, and our main character does not have a superpower, but her parents are the town's like neighborhood superheroes, and so as she is trying to develop her place in the world, she decides to get an internship, and the internship ends up being with the town's supervillains, and lots of stuff goes on. It's really fun, really campy. It kind of, sort of, a little bit reminds me of Sky High, but not quite. But it has that kind of fun feel. Favorite new author. Now this can be a debut author or a new to you author, and I'm doing a new to me author, obviously, because my choice for this is N.K. Jemisin, who is clearly a prolific writer. I did not discover her. This is not a debut. I read the 5th season, which is the first book in the Broken Earth trilogy. I was like, the 5th season trilogy. Broken Earth trilogy. I really enjoyed it. It was like nothing I've ever read before, and I thought the writing was really engaging. I thought just the whole way the story was constructed was really, really interesting, and I am looking forward to reading the next 2 books in the series. And the Broken Earth trilogy has a really long synopsis that's hard to explain, so I'm not giving it here, but it is a pretty famous series, so you can look it up. I believe in you. What genre have you read most this year? If you've followed me for any amount of time, you may have noticed, but I mostly read contemporary books. I do read some other types of books, like obviously like 2 of my favorites like that I just mentioned were fantasy, but I read mostly contemporary and I love it. This is at least the 2nd year in a row that I've read mostly contemporary. I didn't check for my stats for 3 years ago, but I looked at my answers to this question from last year and contemporary was the winner there too. It's just, I don't think that's ever going to change, and I'm happy for it. A book that made you happy, China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan. This is the 2nd book in the Crazy Rich Asians series, and I didn't like it as much as Crazy Rich Asians, the 1st book in the trilogy, but I still enjoyed reading it. What's your next big priority for your reading for the rest of the year, I guess? And for that, it's to finish all my arcs. I could list out all the arcs that I have to read. I think I have 5 or maybe 7. I have like a month's worth of reading of arcs to read, but I don't read all arcs for a month usually. So there's that. But I do want to finish them. I was supposed to like get a handle on my arcs in the first half of the year, and I did not, because it's just so easy to request more arcs and then the publisher just gives it to you, and then you're like, oh, I have to read this now, like right now, and then you don't, and you're a terrible booktuber. That is the crisis I go through every time I get accepted for a book on NetKelly. Favorite video you have done so far this year? And for this one, I've chosen my blindfolded bookshelf tour. I thought that was a really fun video. It took me a long time to edit, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. My blindfolded bookshelf tour, where I gave a bookshelf tour with a blindfold on, so I thought it was fun. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or acquired so far this year? I have been on a book buying ban kind of stuff, so I haven't been buying a lot of books, so the pickings were slim, but I went with King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo is just prevalent in this tag. I don't know, I just think it's cool. It's like gilded and stuff. There is one thing, and the inside, actually, this is gorgeous. So yeah, but the only thing that I wish was a little different for this is that it was more matte, like the Six of Crows duology. Like, this is a really shiny cover, I'm sure you can tell. It's probably messing up my white balance, but I just wish somehow it was more matte. I don't really know how they would do it, but honestly, I just kind of wish that this was the cover instead, because this is something. And the last question for this is, what books do you have to read by the end of the year? I think this is kind of similar to my priorities for the rest of the year, but yeah, similarly, I want to read all the arcs that I have, and also I would like to have read Becoming by Michelle Obama. I bought it planning to like start reading it soon-ish, and then I haven't. And yeah, I want to read this. Lots of people loved it. Michelle Obama had the whole booktube thing, so it's time to read it. My friend read it and she's like, you need to read it. You're gonna find it so relatable. I don't know how I'm gonna find it relatable because I'm not married to Barack Obama, but we'll see. But yeah, those are all of the questions for this mid-year tag video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. In the comments down below, let me know what was your favorite book that you've read so far this year. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make more videos where I talk about books, and be sure to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I post a video, because I don't know, I told you to and you just listen to everything I say. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.